Then from the, I just clicked on user and setup and maintenance, right? From setup and maintenance, here is the task panel towards the right side. Task panel, manage implementation projects is the task. Okay. So as soon as you click on it, it takes you to the page where it displays all the implementation projects that are got created by various users, right? So, so let me write up the navigation, how you can reach out to the farm. Setup maybe you can also take this note. Right, setup and maintenance. This is basically right. Setup and maintenance, and then manage implementation project. Once you click on this task, it takes you to the form where it displays all the implementation projects that are available or that are already defined in this application. So why do you see so many implementation project is because it is an demo, the Oracle demo instance given by Oracle, and multiple users uses this application. So basically, so for, as part of training, or maybe people who are having access to this application, they creates their project, right? So that is the reason you would see all the implementation projects over there. Once you create your implementation project, obviously it will also part of the one of the list, right? So what are the options that you see on the implementation project is, so if you go into the actions, you create an implementation project, which means you can create one implementation project for you, or you can edit the implementation project, the existing task, existing implementation project, you can edit it, you can delete it, and you can even generate reports out of it. Okay, the same features, what you see, whatever the actions you have seen under this action, whatever the task that you have seen under the action also can be done by this option, the plus symbol, the pencil icon, and the delete option, which is an into symbol. Okay, so so we'll discuss how you edit the implementation project, but let's create one first, right? So how can I do that? I can go from the action create, or I can simply click on plus symbol, right? So once I clicked on here, it is taken you to a form where you will be asked to punch in some information, which is going to be the name for your implementation project. Okay, so what is the why why do you create an implementation project? It is as I said at the beginning, it is just to track your the tasks under your as part of your module implementation. Maybe this implementation project can be created a one implementation project for all of the modules that are going to be implemented as part of an implementation, or an implementation project can be created for each module. So an implementation project can be created for each offering. So it depends. I mean, how the project management wants to generate their reports, how they want to have a visibility over the project life cycle. It depends upon the approach, the approach that the project management wants to see. Okay, so let's say I'm creating an implementation project for financials, let's say. Okay, so let's say this is the implementation project I'm in. iCore Financials is the implementation project, right? So as and when I tab out, the code field automatically got updated with the whatever the name I have given. Okay, so And the description, you can give any description. The name auto gets populated, but you can write anything. You can even remove that. You can give whatever the uh, description, meaningful description of this implementation project. Okay. So once the this name is given, then there is a status called not started, because we are just at the initial stage of the implementation project task. So for the status is initial status will be not started only. And there is an option called assign to. There is an employee. The person is going, one of the user basically. Okay. So to whom this can be assigned? This can be assigned to any of the user that is available in the application. Okay. So by default, it gets assigned to the current user from which user you are creating this implementation project task. If you are creating from your user, obviously it assigns to your username only. Okay. So just given a start date from, right, finish date optional, whether you either you can give it or you can ignore it, right? So then there are certain options next and save and open the project. So see, what are the other options that you would see is when you click on next, what happens when you click on save on open next project, save on open project, what happens is we are creating a project for one purpose. What is that purpose? We are going to track the financial setups as part of this task. We are going to implement financial modules for a customer iCore, and financials module has multiple financials offering has multiple modules, right? GL, AP, AR, cash management, and expenses, fixed assets as well. And each of this module has number of tasks to be done, number of setups to be done, right? So to track those tasks, who is doing which task, right? Who is doing which task by when, right? That information is going to be tracked. So have we assigned that financials offering now on this project, the project implementation project task as of now? No, right? So where do you do that? You can click on next, and then you need to assign the offerings. Right? So when you click on next, what it is displaying, create implementation project, select offerings to implement. By creating this implementation, iCore financial implementation project, what are the modules offerings that you are going to implement, and what are the modules you are going to track as part of this implementation? That is what it is asking. So you need to add that offering into that project, implementation project, right? So what I'll be doing, I'll be adding financials, right? I have added financials under one under financial. It is asking whether the all the financials are any of the few of the modules from financials, right? Customer, what I have selected, supplier and invoice processing. It implements the your P2P side of implementation. Supplier invoice processing, which means from invoicing to payment to cash management to reconciliation. Employee expenses to track your employee expenses. The company will have its employees, and employees can submit the reimbursement, expense reimbursement that they incurred as part of your project implementation travel, or maybe some of the reimbursements, expense reimbursement that you get every month, maybe whatever, right? So the fixed assets, which is used to track your assets of the company, right? Customer invoicing processing, which means the O2C side of it, right? The customer where the prospective customer is going to buy our product, and for that customer we will be giving the invoice and the customer makes the payment, right? So the revenue management, it is a different module. Collections is a different module, right? Invent intercompany is a different module, right? Just let me enable all the options which falls under financials. Financial business intelligent analytics. This is something related to BI. Yes, federal financials I don't need. So anything, I mean, any offering you can select as part of this implementation. Let's say what I did, I have added financials and I'm adding the OM as well, right? I'm even I'll try to add other module as well. Fusion Accounting Hub as well. Let's continue with this one, right? So I have added what all the modules that I'm going to track as part of this implementation project task, right? I have added now. Then what is my next step? There is an save and open the project and save and close. These are the two options. Okay. What is the difference between these two is save and close is simply it saves your project, but it doesn't bring that project into open status. Okay. When you click on save and open, it automatically it saves whatever the offerings that you have included on this project implementation project task, and it makes that project status as open. Okay. So whenever you once you create the implementation project to track the tasks status, the project should be in open status in first place. Okay. So let application take its time. So if you see here, the implementation project is open and it has got included all the offerings that we have rolled in as part of this iCore Financials implementation project task. Okay. So now what application will do is it gives you the because if we are as part of your financials implementation, we have rolled in these of the offerings as part of this task, and as part of this you have to do these many tasks. So let's say you have to implement your financials, right? These are the tasks that you need to do. So this is basically a what Oracle application is, how Oracle application is designed. It has listed these setup task for each module, and the module is tied back to your offering. As and when you select the offering, it lists out all the tasks which are subset of your offering or subset of your module are going to be listed under this implementation project, so that you can assign this task to the user and you can give due date to the user, but this user you have to complete this task by this date. Okay. And you can track whether the task is started, in progress, completed, whether it is on hold, right? So those actions we will see now. Okay. So I have selected this implementation project, the financials offering, and that is what you can see on the screen, right? So this is my implementation project now. Okay. So let me, so if you see the status, the implementation project status is not started. It is just the project, the implementation project is open, but the status is it is not yet started. Let's say you have created the project, you have created the project, and your project is going to kickstart from tomorrow, right? So you have created a project today and you want to track your project status from tomorrow so that you can make that status active so that the project status shows as active and which is in progress. Okay. So what are the other status you have? You have one status in progress and completed. So in progress is to track your project status in progress. Once all the tasks are completed, maybe you can mark this implementation project as completed. Okay. So once you make it into in progress, you can see that status is changed to in progress. Okay. So now going further, your project is created, implementation project is created, and it has listed all the task lists and tasks which you can see under the offering. Now there may be questions, right? Once the project is added with the implementation project is added with the offerings. So can I go and update these tasks? Can I go and update in terms of maybe can I go and add a new offering to the implementation project? And whether can I go and remove any of the existing implementation offering that is being added on this implementation project? So I can do both actions. Either I can add a new offering onto this project, or I can remove the offering that is being selected on this implementation project. Maybe accidentally the implementation project offering was added, right, which needs to be deleted, or maybe the scope was changed, right? There may be multiple reasons, right? How do I do that? Just if I want to remove the offering from the project, how I can do? Just select that one, go to actions, remove. This is one of the way you can do it, right? It is gone, right? So in the same way, if I want to add uh, a new offering into this implementation project, how do I do? Maybe you can go into the action select and or simply you can click on plus symbol. It gives you the offerings again, the same thing, right? So let me see if I try to procurement offering, right? Procurement I've added. I think I should have clicked on apply. Still not yet added. The tasks procurement already exist on the Fusion account income. Okay. So I think it gets refreshed. So this is how you can add a offering, or you can even add what do you call, remove the offering from the uh, of implementation project. Okay. So let me search for a different offering. Let's say grants management. Right. So let me query back the implementation project. So I've done some activity on the project. So let me go back. So let me come back from the manage implementation project task. So once I landed here, I can search for my implementation project, right? So it shows me up. If maybe it was listed on top, right? So, okay, fine. So now how do you search for your implementation project? You can search here, over here, right? Okay. So now let's discuss further on this implementation project. This is the status we have changed. We have seen how you add an offering into the existing implementation project, and we have seen how you can even add a new offering into your implementation project, right? So there are, then what is the objective? I mean, the objective is to, what we discussed, the objective is to track the status of the setups task that the consultants are going to do on the project, right? So how you do that activity is, so these are the tasks basically. So how do you assign that task to an implementation consultant who is working on the project? Let's say there are financial implementations we are doing. As a project manager, I am driving this project. I have number of 3 to 4 finance consultants, and from this finance consultant, let's say GL, from the financials, let's say the task, fee of the GL task has to be done by an employee, right? uh, Employee A, or some of the task has to be done by employee B, right? So now I have to track that one. How do I do that? So to track that one, because to track that tasks, whether the employee is done or not, I should assign that task in first place, right? So how do I assign the task? Where do I find the task in first, right? Where do I find the task? If you enable this expand button, if you click on this expand, it further gives you the subtask, right? Even the subtask will have further granular level tasks that you need to perform. Okay. So let's say this is a task. Run user role synchronization process. This is one of the job which gets submitted as part of the implementation task. Okay, that is one of the one. Maybe you can, if you check in the define ledgers. Define ledgers is one of the tasks that you will be doing as part of your financials implementations. Okay, so for this defined ledgers, let's say this task has to be done by an employee, right? Let me see. See, if I put the cursor on this the parent task and assign it to employee. Let me see, right? How I am going to assign this one. I have selected the task and just simply going on to the assign tasks, right? So this assign task, so assign same due date as all users. So this one, how come this 17 is defaulted? Not sure. Let me check on that one. But before once you, how you assign that task, you just put the cursor and on the task and click on assign. Then here is the user to whom you can assign. Let's say assign users. So this assign users, let me assign a user to this task. What does it mean? This task has to be done by the one employee, right? So let me see. I've seen Harish name, right? So let me see. Let me assign this task to this user Harishwar Reddy, and let me give him a due date. By this date, this task has to be finished, right? This task has to be finished by this due date. So what I'm doing, I have assigned the user and just save and close. What the change it brought in? Once you did that, it assigned all the subtasks of defined ledger subtasks are assigned to this user, Arishwar Reddy, with the due date saying that this 17th of April, this task has to be finished. Okay, this is how you assign the task to a user, right? But before that, there are certain other options on the toolbar, implementation toolbar as well. Let's see on theoretical how it is how these options are useful, right? Task is the task name. Help icon is to give you the help. This is what we discussed, right? When you click on the user menu, we have seen in yesterday's session, uh, enable show help icon, hide help icon. This on this application, on this user, not application, right? So on this user, on this application, the show help icon is enabled. That is the reason you can see this help icon is enabled in the form of question help. If you, what happens is, if you click on this one, it takes you to the Oracle page. It pops up hyperlinks with what exactly this task is, what exactly this task can be created, and what is the, what are the options, the considerations that you need to consider while doing the task. I mean, basically, it gives you the farm level information about the attributes that you are going to define as part of that task. Okay, so let's say if you see manage primary ledger, right? Create a, what is that manage primary ledger? It review, update self-contained accounting information set and define new information set. Okay, if you click on here on the hyperlink of create primary ledger, it gives you the theoretical information. What is a primary ledger? Create primary ledgers as your main record keeping ledger. A primary ledger records the transactional balances by using chart of accounts with calendar currency accounting rules implemented in the accounting method. So what it is saying is, to create a ledger, once you create a ledger, it tracks your financial transactions. But to create a ledger, what it is saying, it is the combination of chart of accounts, calendar, currency, and the accounting method. What it is saying, to create this primary ledger, these are the attributes that are going to be used. But what is the purpose of it? It is to record your transactions. So it also gives you the scenario where do you create your ledgers. It is kind of an what do you call, user manual information that you can even search specific to that form, specific to that task. Okay, this is how you can how you can see the help task and how it is helpful for you in the process of implementation, right? Then the go to task is to go to this task. Let's say I have assigned this task to Harishwar Reddy. He has to go and do that task. How he can do that? He can go and he can log in from his log credentials, and he can go into this implementation project, and he has to come to this area and he has to click on that go to task. Once he has done it, it has taken to the area where it has taken to a form where Harish has to create a primary ledger. Okay, this is the area where the primary ledgers can be created. Let's say once the ledger is created, right? Once the ledger is created, then obviously he'll mark it as completed. We'll see that. Okay, go to task is one of the this is how the go to task is used. Selected scope is it is basically to this task. Let's say the assigned legal entities has a task called select scope, but the primary ledger it doesn't have, right? What does it mean is, wherever you see the select scope, the corresponding task is going to be done on multiple data sets. Assign legal entities. What is a legal entity? Legal entity is a legal company. So legal company, which means a group company can have multiple legal entities, right? Multiple legal companies, right? So the legal entity, the company can be assigned to multiple legal entities. So how do I do that? So application should have a feasibility that saying that this legal entity can be assigned to this legal entity can be assigned to multiple legal organizations, right? So that is how you select the scope. We will see all this, but just high level, I'm giving you the giving you the information. The status is status of this task. Predecessor tasks are if this task has any pre-required setups to be done, that information it gives. Assigned to is the user to whom it is assigned. Due date is the by due date when it has to be completed. And assignment permissions. Assignment permissions, which means whether the user has the permissions to do that task or not. If you click on this authorized assignment permission, right? What it is giving is it is giving the authorized roles. Authorized roles is different. Okay, assignment permission is basically whether this user has the capability to do this task or not. So how does the user can how does the user has the ability, right? He should have assigned with a role. What is that role? Application implementation consultant role, whether the user is assigned with or not. This user is assigned with that role. That is the reason you can see a green checkbox. Otherwise, if the user is not assigned with that role, definitely it will give you an red tick mark. It shows in the red tick mark. Okay, we'll see that as well. Okay, and the authorized roles is the roles from which from these roles the task can be done. Okay, and then the notes, when the manager assigning these tasks to the user, there is a task, there is an option called notes. If something was written on while assigning the task, definitely that can be seen on this notes area. Okay, and then you have the view reports. We'll see that view report. I think you can run at the parent task level. You can run the view reports. These are the on high level. These are the high level description of each of the uh, toolbar options that you see on the implementation project task level. Okay, so let's go back to the task, different task, and assign to a different user, right? So let me see what else I can assign. So manage business unit, right? Let me assign this manage business to unit to a different user. There is something I've written or right. I'm assigning this to a user called uh, right. I am assigning this to a user called Oracle Cloud. Right. I'm not giving any due date here. Just save it. Right. Manage business unit is the task that is assigned to that user, right? Let's see, it is updated with the username. So this is how I can search for a specific task as well. We'll discuss why it has given multiple options, right? So if you see, manage business unit is the task which is assigned to Oracle Cloud, right? So if you see, I had added notes here. I can see the notes, right? And then let's see if the user has the permissions. Can you see this user? If you remember, this user is not assigned with any of the role. Oracle Cloud doesn't have any roles. Oracle Fusion has the role, the two roles, IT security manager and implementation consultant. This user doesn't have any role. That is the reason whether this user is permitted, it is saying no straight away, right? This is how this application is implementation project, creation of implementation project is useful in the implementations, right? Then we have assigned this task to different employees. Now, the question can be, can I assign one task to multiple users? Yes, you can. How do you do that? Let's say, let me assign this manage business unit task to another user as well. I forgot what was the user I have assigned earlier. Oracle Cloud, right? Now I will assign Oracle Fusion. Right? See, can you see this user has the role and it is straight away. It has given the update saying that this user has the required privileges so that the user can be permitted, right? If you see over here, assign to, you can see multiple tasks, multiple users. Okay. So now, so what we will see is we'll see, let's say, assume that the business unit task is completed. Go to task and edit the status. So let's say I am the user who is working on this project, right? On the as a consultant, right? So let's say I was assigned with a task, manage business unit task I need to complete. I have to do it now. So let's say I've done the setup and I will have to update this one. Okay. So I can do that from the my user, also from a different user, right? So let's see. The user has done the setup and updated its status, right? So I can do it from just for, since it is since I have the capability to do that, I am just updating the status. How I do? Just select the status and edit status. Click on edit status. So maybe once I start the once I started doing it, I'll be marking the status as in progress, right? Initially, it is not started, and uh, the once the task is completed, I can mark the status as completed. Or if there are any errors, there are certain status that Oracle has given. Maybe you can use one of them if it fits for the communication, right? So let's say I have done. So I've done the setup in the application. I just came back here and I've marked this status as completed, right? Once I've marked the task is completed, the status is updated on the implementation project, right? So similarly, let me do it for these tasks as well. So who can do that? Anyone can update this status, but basically it is, this update is done by either done by the person to whom the task is assigned, or an person as an project implementation manager or lead can do that. So it depends, right? So what I am doing is I can mark the all the tasks. I have selected multiple tasks now, and I'm just marking it as completed, right? So this task is completed. So so how it is helpful? How it is helpful in the business, what we seen. So the task can be assigned to a user, task can be tracked, right? So the major objective of it is to track the status, right? So let's say I have assigned the task to the various users, and the users of we have even seen the users has the capability or not. We have even seen the multiple can a task be assigned to multiple users. We have even seen that as well, right? So we have even seen how the status on a task can be updated by the user, right? So one, let's say that is done. What is the other activity that can be done on this project is, so the users, the users, when I say users, is not the business users, the consultants, the financials consultants who like us, who are working on the project, right? Once the task is completed, obviously we will be updating the status, right? So now, as a project manager, I want to see what are the tasks which are assigned, I have assigned to various users, and where are they? What is the progress on those? That is the major activity, right? As a manager, I should be able to view, right? How do I do that? Just put the cursor on the implementation project from the list and then click on overview on top right corner, right? It gives you the all the projects which are assigned to this user. I am using a generic user called SaaS implementation user. With this SaaS implementation user, there are multiple implementation projects are created. That is the reason it is showing all the implementation projects. If you have created only one implementation project, obviously this window will have only the implementation project which you have created or which is assigned to your user. Okay, fine. So once you put the cursor on your iCore Financials implementation, it has given the task list, right? Out of this task, there are 1994 tasks which are not yet assigned to any of the consultant, and 50 tasks are already assigned to the users. This is high level information it has at the header level, and it also gives you the uh, uh, status in a pie charts and the tabular format. Okay, so the can you see these are the tasks which are assigned and not started are these many, right? In progress are these many, and complete how much it should get some data. I think it is not yet refreshed, but it should. We have marked some of the task as completed, right? It should get that data as well. So let me go to the implementation project. Okay, let's go ahead. So what is the it is assignment status, the task assignment status it is giving you. Assignment status by task list it gives you, right? So this is financial accounting up. These are the two offers which are there in the this implementation project. What are the tasks that falls under each of this offering, right? It is giving you the resource status, right? What are the resources, who are the resources to whom this task is assigned, and what is the status, right? So if you see this here, this is completed this week. This is, I think it is by color codes are by the due dates. Okay. With this resource, what are the different tasks that are assigned? What is the due date with respect to the color code is also displayed, and assignment details. It gives you the what are the tasks which are assigned to which resource. So this is how it is helpful for a project management to track the tasks on an implementation project task type. Okay, so let me go back to the implementation project if I missed anything so that I can cover.